right, so good morning, everyone. And before I dive in with my formal introduction, I just want to say that the dance party that the John Black School had to that intro was amazing and epic. So way to go, guys. My name is Jesse. Welcome to another broadcast with us here at Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. And today is really the perfect embodiment of what we do best. Earlier, I got the chance to hang out with Sonam Lama. He is the coordinator for the Red Panda Network, joining in Kathmandu, Nepal, talking about their amazing work to save a really incredible and endangered species. Later, we're going with Rosie Poirier in BC to talk about storytelling to save the ocean. And right now, smack dab in the middle, we are bringing on one of my very favorite people we've ever had on the program for a second broadcast with us. Now, today we are joined live in Rwanda by Stanley Anigbogu. He is a creative technologist. He's an innovative and innovation entrepreneur. And every time I do anything, if I open up a news thing, if I go on LinkedIn, if I go anywhere, Stanley is receiving a new award for the amazing work that he does. He is one of the most creative and enthusiastic people I've ever had the chance to meet. There's very few people that match me for sheer energy, and Stanley is one of them. So I'm so excited for you to meet him today, hear about his incredible story in making the world a better and quite literally a brighter place. And I just can't wait for you to meet him. So Stanley, unmute your mic. Come on in, man. Welcome back to the broadcast. It's nice to see you.
Awesome. Super excited to be here. And I wish I could see their faces, but so excited to be here. And my name is Stanley. Please do not mind Jess. I am just a very, very humble young person that is doing my very best to create change. I'm from Nigeria, originally from Nigeria, but currently I am doing my degree in entrepreneurial leadership at the African Leadership University here in Rwanda, and I'm super excited to join you. It's quite warm right down here in Kigali. But super excited to be here.
I'm gonna play a little video highlighting a bit of the journey of you and Lighted and your founder story in a minute. But I'm really curious what you mean by warm. Like what does warm mean where you are right now?
Because that's a very, very interesting question. So warm means different things. When I was in New York, they were like, it is so hot. And I was like, really? I think it's quite chilly. So
where I am, it's like 7 degrees right now. So I'm a little colder than most of North America, but I don't think Kigali ever gets to 7 degrees. You guys are
it's like around 27 right now.
So, that's like we're sweltering and we're in tiny shorts and we can't even handle it anymore and just warm. Okay. I want to set the stage or something, but it's been interesting for me talking about this broadcast with friends and family over the last few weeks. And when I mentioned that you're coming from Nigeria, a lot of people don't know much about Nigeria. So where you come from, it's one of the biggest countries in the world. It's got some of the most people in the world, and it's this incredible hub of all sorts of innovation and technology happening on Earth. Can you, before I bring up your founder's story, I'd love for you to explain a little bit about where you grew up and as context for our students.
So I grew up in the southern eastern part of Nigeria, which is a state called Anambra State. Grew up in a very small town called Onitsha, and it's also, the city is known for trades. It's more of the economic trade center of Nigeria, and what that means is it houses the biggest market in the entire of West Africa. So I grew up knowing few things about technology. We literally did not have access to the tools, resources, and network to learn about tech or science. Basically, I didn't even have access to a laptop till I was 18. That was from my story, but a lot of kids, millions of kids in Nigeria do have access to laptops and internet. But from the place I grew up, it's from a humble beginning. But in context, we had fun. We didn't have much, but we had fun. We played around using scrap. And from that scrap, from that waste materials, that's where I found myself. That's where I found innovation. And yeah.
Thank you very much for that. It's funny for me growing up in a city of 2.5 million, where Toronto is the biggest place in Canada, and you go to Lagos and it's 15 million. And Nigeria's got way more people than Canada. And I think a lot of people don't have that context for a lot of African nations, especially in Central Africa. So thank you for sharing a bit of that. And we're going to dive in with a little bit of your founder story, because you've got some amazing videos to share with us today. So I'm going to cue this up, and you guys can learn a little bit more about Stanley before we go on with the rest of the presentation. So here we go. Let's get this ready. And
thousands of refugees who fled the war in Syria.
The World Health Organization is warning that the amount of e-waste around the world.
The amount of solid plastic waste produced since the 1950s that has not been burned or recycled is around 4.9 billion tonnes.
Hi everyone, my name is Stanley and this is my journey from waste to what? Growing up, I lived in a community where we had limited access to clean energy and power outages were common. I had to use candles or kerosene lamps to study at night, which had a negative impact on my life, my health and my education. It was frustrating, and this made me realize that lack of access to clean energy was a problem that needed to be solved. That was when I started thinking about ways to design clean energy solutions using waste, which was very, very abundant in my community. It wasn't easy at first. I had to experiment with different designs and materials, but eventually I found an opportunity to create what my community needed by turning e-waste and single-use plastic bottles to create a lighted world. It was a proud moment for me and it changed my life. From there, my journey as a product designer began. I had to work with young people in my community. We focused on people-centered designs and community-based solutions. We offered multiple energy options from wind to solar, and we designed products that brought people together while having access to energy. It was an amazing moment to see the impact our work was having on the community. My designs and projects have not only helped families, refugees, and schools, but they have inspired others in the community to join the cause. Today, I'm still working to improve my energy solutions and find new ways to use recycled materials to design sustainable products. Some of my new designs and projects are affordable houses for refugees and so many others. Every one of us has the power to create change. For me, that power is Lighted. Lighted is more than a project or an organization. It is a beacon of hope, change, and the light before the end of the tunnel.
Oh, again, I can't stress enough. Like, I find you so inspiring. I think our kids will too. But I wanted to harp on two things in that video before we tell a little bit more about Lighted in just like a 2-minute clip. So first is I saw you drawing there. You had these hand-drawn things of the innovations that you're trying to make. Have you always done that? How central is this to what you're trying to create when you make these innovations?
So actually, I always have like a sketchbook on my table with a lot of like crazy sketches of like the raw concept of my ideas. So it's like I always have like each year I kind of have like a new sketchbook for each year. So this is for 2023. I have from 2022. Some of my ideas that I'm working on this year were ideas I had, let's say, when I was still 15 years old, and I was like, that time the ideas were not possible, but now with the technology made available, with 3D printing technology being more affordable, it's easier to build those solutions or to design those solutions. So yeah, I always sketch. I have a big notepad, then I have a small teeny weeny notepad that I carry in my bag. So yeah, your ideas can literally come from anywhere. I was in New York and I saw a design of a small coffee shop, and I literally got sparks of ideas of a new design I was working for a station. And I was like, okay, I just started sketching down my ideas or writing down my ideas. So I always have a notepad or a pen with me. Yeah.
I love this beyond you can possibly imagine how much I love this as a story. And the fact that you're constantly finding ideas in the built environment around you, you're looking for new things all the time. I'm curious for our students that might want to be innovators, inventors in the future. How many of your ideas actually work out? Do most of them fail? Do most of them be things that you don't actually end up pursuing? Just before we dive in with the Lighted story.
Yeah, definitely. So let's say so far I've worked on multiple different solutions, let's say up to 15 different tech solutions, plus the ones I'm working on this year. That would make them around 18 or so, because I'm working on 3 projects at the moment. And some of them really feel badly, like really badly. But what I always do is I always believe in some of my ideas and I keep them in this box in my head, in a mental box. And I'll be like, when the time is right, you will pop out of that box. But it's always interesting to don't cancel out any idea. But when you see an idea is not realistic and it's not possible to achieve, believe in yourself, but then know when to call it quits or know when to ask for help. Some of your ideas might be ahead of its time. Some of your ideas might be so brilliant that you can't possibly bring them into existence now. but maybe in the next 5 years, I have some of my designs around energy in general that I know I'm not yet ready to build them. It's probably in the next 6 years, next 5 years, maybe when I'm in a more higher position or I have more money or more funding to pursue those solutions. So yeah, some ideas work out, some don't work out, some might work out. Yeah, you just have to keep on trying.
This is really important because I think when I grew up, I always assumed that, people that were geniuses, people that created things, everything that they did was brilliant and everything worked out and they were able to, achieve everything. And that is almost never the case. Most people go through lots of different drafts of ideas. They fail. They come up with tons of things, most of which don't come to fruition. And I think if you're looking to make a difference in the world, whatever that field may be, and that's a really important thing for our students to recognize. So thank you very, very much for that. And I want to go in headlong with another video highlighting one project that really has worked out, has been your defining project. So let's share a little bit about Lighted in 2 minutes with our audience. Can't wait for you guys to check this out. And then we'll be back with Stanley right after that again. Here we go. Bring this up for everyone, full screen, and let's do it.
Hello, my name is Stanley Anigbogu, and I'm a creative technologist and a storyteller. Growing up as a young Nigerian innovator, I always had big dreams to build robots, rockets, amazing innovations, but I couldn't achieve those dreams. Nah, I did achieve those dreams. I was able to do it using electronic waste, metal waste. I was able to build really amazing innovation, but that's changed when I grew up. I started thinking, how do I use electronic waste to solve real life problems? How do I use electronic waste to tackle global issues? And that was when we decided to solve the problem of energy poverty. It was a problem that I grew up with because I spent 11 years of my life using candles and kerosene lamps to study at night. Lighted is a company that I started as a young person to tackle the energy poverty gap. And Lighted, we use electronic waste to build our solutions. And these solutions are solar home systems that can provide people access to clean and affordable energy. Our products vary from larger systems to smaller systems that can provide people access to clean and affordable energy. 60% of our product is made out of electronic waste and it's locally produced. Our production process is using solar powered tools and it's 100% green. We believe that Lighted is a beacon of hope. It's the light before the end of the tunnel because we want to solve one of Nigeria's, or if not Africa's, biggest problem. Nah, it is a global problem. So we want to solve that problem, the problem that affects everyone currently, and also tackling climate change is also one of our priorities. So that is why we want to leave no one behind. We created the Lighted Impact Project as well to provide people in rural communities access to clean and affordable energy, refugees access to clean and affordable energy, and communities and schools, local business owners access to clean and affordable energy. Our business model is quite simple. We wanted to make sure our products were affordable by our customers. And what we did is we worked with local business owners, which are 70% are women, to work with these women because they already had existing stores. What we had to do is adapt to their existing stores and make them our agents. These women have become our sales agents, our distribution agents for providing people access to micro energy and also being able for people that can afford, they will also sell our products to them. We believe that Lighted is a beacon of hope. It is the light before the end of the tunnel. And that is why it's significant for what we are doing at this current point in time. And we all have a role to play. And this is our role at Lighted, to make sure that we bridge that energy gap, to make sure that we break down the wall of energy poverty in the world and help mitigate and reduce and relieve the effects of climate change. Please join us in our mission and stay lighted.
Stanley, again, I want to follow up with something because a lot of our students, there we go. Sorry. There we go. A lot of our students, I grew up in Canada. A lot of our students are in Canada, the United States today. The idea of needing a light at night to study is not something that's familiar to a lot of our students here. But this is a global issue, and you highlight this in the video. How many people, roughly still, don't have access to permanent 24-hour on-the-grid lighting? Like, why is this such a need?
So I will start with a local context. So, for example, in Nigeria, only 45% of the population have consistent access to energy. And when I mean consistent, I mean probably 5 times a week they would have access to energy without any interruption. But then you have almost 85 million people in the country that have never seen any single spark of electricity in their lives. They always use candles or fires or campfires. So that is a big problem. Now, when you move into an African context, according to the World Bank, in 2022, there are 759 million people in Africa that do not have access to electricity. Now, to a global context, according to the World Bank again, there are 1.4 billion people globally that don't even have access to a simple flashlight or a simple lamp. So, yeah, that's how big the problem is.
So you highlight so much in this video the importance of taking waste to create these products, and 65% waste material from. So
Yeah.
how do you like? It's such a great idea. We featured a lot of programs on plastic pollution where people take plastic bottles, they make fun things with them, they make glasses, they make skateboards, all of which contributes to helping the problem. But you're taking something that was going to be in the garbage forever and you're making something that's really beneficial to people. How much does that save? I mean, it seems like, again, Canada and the US are very throwaway cultures. We have grown up with, oh, I'm done with something in the garbage, I'll get a next one, it's totally fine. So the idea of going through trash or waste to find something that could build something is so novel to a lot of students here. What sparked that? And do you find that people, I don't know, just tell us more about that story. It's such an exciting one for our kids.
Yeah. So I think when you come in Africa, I think a lot of people have similar mindset when it comes to they use things and they throw it away. I think even I myself sometimes might be adhering to that crime of using things once and you throw it away. But when it comes to when you talk about specific type of waste, so waste is a long range of different things. You can go from plastic to metal to electronics to biodegradable waste. There are so many different types of waste. Even within plastic, you have nylon, you have different types of plastic. For my designs, literally almost all my designs, I try to incorporate a certain element of recycling or circular. You can call it circular economy. So what circular economy means is when the life of, for example, this pen, when the lifespan of this pen is over, instead of you to throw away the plastic, what happens is you just change the ink tube inside and you just use the same pen. So instead of throwing it away, you're reusing it. That's reusing. But circular economy is when you eventually through this, someone else takes this and converts it into another product and puts it back into the market and someone else buys it. So you have people like recycle wine, for example. People recycle wine bottles into drinking glasses. You have people that recycle tires, used tires into road towels. You have people that recycle secondhand clothing into tote bags. So that's all examples of circular economy, and that is my principle and value as a designer. Everything I must design must follow the principle of circular economy. I must make sure I'm using waste or dumped material and giving it a second life to go back into the stream. So for the electronic waste, we already have people that are doing that, people that collect it and sell the material. So what we did is just we partnered with them and say, hey, you guys are doing this, people are not buying it from you at the amount you need people to buy it from you. If I ordered 10,000 units of this, could you make that available for me? And people then go and recycle that and we buy it. So what we're doing is we are creating that link that allows that material to have the next life. So let's say some of our devices are made out of recycled lithium-ion batteries that might be in a laptop that your mom used or your dad or you yourself used. And right now, it might be in a lamp that is lighting up a child in Nigeria's room. So that's what circular economy is, like putting it back to use and creating value out of it. Yeah.
It's a concept that when I grew up in school, no one talked about circular economy. The only thing that people really knew about would be cans and bottles. We're really big on that in Canada and Toronto growing up, is that, okay, you're done with beer bottles, wine bottles, Coke bottles, whatever, you can send them back and they'll be reused again. But it's been really amazing over the last decade in particular to see how many products are starting to account for this and to try and make sure that they exist for a longer period of time, that they don't just end up in a landfill. So it's inspiring to see what you've been doing with it. And thank you for all that backdrop. We're going to head into something else now. There's been little snippets of these, little clips of you working with people that are in really difficult conditions, refugee camps and beyond. So I want to play a little bit of a video on Light for Peace, some of the work that you've done there, as a really special take on how big of an impact work like Stanley's can have in the world. So let me cue this up. I hope this sounds really good for people. I've turned it up as high as I possibly can. So we'll get this ready and we'll dive in, and then we'll come back with Stanley in a second. Oh, here we are. Sorry, wrong button. See, even though I've done 1,500 of these, I still press the wrong button sometimes. It's half my fun. But let's dive in. Here we go, folks.
Good morning, I'm Mimi, one of in IDP camp. I'm highly grateful. You can see the way I'm jumping today because of lighting. They brought lanterns for us, lights that we use in our camps, of which we don't have lights here. So we appreciate very much. May God bless those hands of yours, and may you give them lots of lanterns, and may God give you lots of wisdom so that you manufacture more great higher capability with both of lantern that you bring with us with energy solar. May God bless you. Today has been the most happiest moment of our lives because we've been sleeping in darkness, we don't have light. But because of lighted today, we have our lamps that they gave us, our touch to use. So we are very happy and we say thank you to Lighted. We pray that God should add more knowledge of technology to them so that they come back and give us more other higher levels of technology of lanterns and touch lights. Thank you. Lighted. You can see I'm holding it now. My room shines very well. I will be able to sleep comfortably in the night.
The other day you stay here in the dark. You guys brought lights. Yes. And why in darkness. As we appreciate.
They even taught our children how to manufacture this thing. So young generation without technology, there's no life. IDP camp will shine in the night. Our children will be able to sit down and read their books because some of them are collecting lessons in the camp here. We used to light firewood here, but we are highly grateful because we are coming into the camp today to give us all these lights, all the ones they place all around, lighting everywhere in the camp here. We enable our children to be able to do their assignments.
Oh, Stanley, I'm so curious. It's quite the operation that Lighted has got. There's so many people involved in installing things, talking to community members, working on building this up. How big is Lighted as an organization?
So the funny thing is, Lighted has just 5 core team members. We're just like 5 people, and we often do what we do with the people. So we often allow the community themselves volunteer as part of the implementation process to make them feel part of, have a certain. So we design it so that they don't feel like they are victims. We want them to feel like they are empowering themselves, that they are designing and building the solutions for their spaces as well. And as you can see, the houses that they are living in had really horrible conditions. I forgot to send you this link. I know there's a lot of videos, but I preferred they watched visually and understand what I'm saying. Unlike the last time I had a presentation slide. So the truth is, it's more of we work with the community and we allow the community to have that strong ownership in the design. In that way, they take care of the solutions because they are part of the installation process. They're part of the incubation process. So we normally in our implementations, we only have like up to 4 team members of Lighted on ground. The tech guy, the chief tech guy, the camera guy, and 2 other volunteers. That's all. And we make sure that everyone is part of it. You could see the kids building the lamps themselves. So, yeah.
So this is what I'm going to follow up with, because I want to build a lamp. Like, that looks super cool. How long does it take to learn how to do that? Because like for us, you know, like when you're born in Toronto, you see like a light and you're like, the general philosophy of a lot of Canadians, and I think our American friends as well, is like, if it's got electricity, don't mess with it, leave it alone, or else you could have a big problem happen. And here you've got kids that have never done anything like this, and they're building these lamps for their community. How do you teach that? How long does it take?
So we actually built the lamp like a Lego set. It's in my room. I could rush and get it and show you, but it's more of like a Lego set, and they fix it themselves. We designed it with the kids. Like, we had kids as part of the design process, and that was how we found out, okay, if we build it this way, then any kid anywhere, any part of the world could actually have this with very few instructions, and they could be able to put it on. So we don't actually have to put a lot of stress, a lot of energy into building the lamps. We allow the kids to build it themselves. They have fun while building it. When it has a problem, they can fix it. So yeah, that was the thought process behind the whole thing. Yeah.
You are quite the guy, Stanley. So I want to highlight for our kids, before we dive in with questions, we're going to go to Q&A in the next few minutes, but I want to highlight some of the work that you're doing broadly with Allspace to help come up with new innovations and ideas. So we're going to play one more clip for everyone, and then we're going to come back and go straight to questions. YouTubers, you can share them in the chat. St. Teresa, John Black, our grade 5-6 crew, we'd love to hear from you as well. But let's share one more video.
I am so sorry for this. No, don't share that one. I'll just share the most recent one instead. So
perfect.
Yeah, it's more interesting than
Play it, man. You can, if you have it, you can play it on your end. That's perfect. Or I'll get it up. Give me a second. Fantastic. Give me like 1 minute, folks, and we'll play this one instead. Thank you for stopping me. Okay. I think this should work perfectly. Cool. Okay. Here we go. Take 2. Give me 2 quick seconds, and then we'll go live. Stanley's got a better clip. And we are almost there. Almost there, everybody. Takes me a while sometimes. I'm tired. All right.
At Allspace, we believe in a world where sustainable living is not a luxury, but a right. A world where innovation intersects with tradition to create spaces that are not only environmentally conscious, but also deeply rooted in our rich cultural heritage. Our journey started with a simple yet powerful idea, inspired by the timeless design of the African hut. This vision soon took shape in the form of intricate 3D models. Using aluminum rods, recycled materials, and 3D printed joints, we engineered a resilient and lightweight structure. Turning these models into reality was a task filled with both challenges and triumphs. The process was a testament to our dedication, our unwavering belief in a greener, more equitable world. The result: a portable, easy-to-assemble space that combines cutting-edge technology with traditional design wisdom. Our mission then took us to a refugee camp in Makadi, Benue, where the need for our sustainable spaces was profound. We brought not just materials, but a promise of worth, safety, and a place to call home. With each joint fitted, each panel secured, we were one step closer to fulfilling that promise. Fueled by the sun, our space brought shelter and power, illuminating lives and igniting hope. Today, we stand witness to the difference that innovation can make when it's guided by empathy, respect for the environment, and the deep understanding of our shared heritage. But this is just the beginning.
Thank you, all friends. Wow, this is unbelievable. Thank God. Yes, we are very happy with all space. Thank you. I don't like this money. No more hanging. All space. Thank you for this shelter and beautiful protection from rain. Woo! I'm grateful. I've changed. I've become to a room where I will sleep comfortably. Let me enter and see my beautiful room. I will not stay like this and hang myself to support my room again. It will fall. This one is permanent. It's a very, look at the light. Oh,
Plug it. Show her.
Show me. Yeah. For years after this fight, we have not been seeing light. I've not been sleeping in a room where there's light. Oh my God, all space. I don't know what to say, even to charge. Wow, my handset. I'm highly grateful. Wow. Up to 2,000 people every day. And we are just sleeping inside mosquito net. You can look at my hand. This is just the mosquito bite and the insects that have been biting me when I was sleeping inside the mosquito net. So please, I'm asking you to come and help us with those beautifications. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, very cool, Stanley. I'm going to make sure all our classes have links to these videos as well. So if you want to share them with friends and family as like a 2 or 4 minute clip outside of this broader broadcast, we'd love to get you those. Let's head to questions. Stanley, all our classes, if you guys have questions, I'm going to head to our John Black crew in just a minute for one. Grade 5, 6 is St. Teresa. If you guys want to share in the chat, and YouTubers, of course, we'd love to hear from you. John Black already has a student at the camera. So Stanley, we're going to head to our class straight away. Hey guys.
Hi. I had like 1 or 2 questions. My question is, why did you want to make light for everybody? When was your first invention? And
just one question at a time there.
When was your first invention?
First invention and why light for everyone, Stanley?
Okay, I think I'll go with the light. So the reason why is because I grew up at least 11 till I was 11. That was when my dad bought the very first rechargeable lantern home, and we stopped using candles and kerosene lamps, and that felt really good. I was really happy. We already had a car. Like, this is the weird fact, we already had a car, but we were still using candles and kerosene lamps. So it felt we were way happier that we had that rather than having a car, because now we could study without having problems. And I promised myself that when I'm able to grow up, I would design solutions that would make sure other kids feel that same joy. And you could see that in the video, other kids are super happy. Then for my first invention, the very first thing I built that it broke down, but it was the very first invention that I put in a lot of energy. I did fall sick while building it, but I kept on going. Was a hydro generator. It was a mini hydro generator that used water to produce electricity. I used it for a science fair project. So that was my very first project. Yeah.
Very, very cool, man. 5-6s in our other class. We're gonna head to you guys. If you want to unmute your mic, you're good to ask a question and come on in. Hey, everybody, just unmute the mic. Come chat with us. There we are.
Go ahead. How long have you been in your job for?
Ooh, how long you been doing this, Stanley?
So at the moment, I just turned 24. I feel old. I just turned 24.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I started when I was 15. Oh my god, it's almost 10 years.
Almost a decade. Yeah.
Yeah. Time runs fast. Really. Yeah. I started when I was 15. Yeah. But my whole journey started for me as a kid. I was 10 at the time when I saw Iron Man. Jess knows this. I'm a huge Iron Man fan, and that really inspired me. And but when I got over my fear and decided to go outside and challenge myself was at the age of 15. And since then, I have never stopped a single day thinking about tech. So yeah.
We've got some students today on YouTube that are 15. So exciting time for you to get started with innovation anytime. And by the way, it's so funny for me because all the kids are like, wow, 24, that seems old. And all the teachers and I are like, 24, you're like a baby. Let's head. St. Teresa, if you guys have any questions in the chat, we'd love to hear from you. About John Black, we're going to head back to you guys for a live one. And if you got a second question, go for it. You're good to go.
It's not a question. My name's just also Stanley.
Hey.
My question is, how did you get the money to do it?
That is a brilliant question. I would say at first I didn't have the money. Trust me. So this is a different context for you kids in the US or in Canada. It's way different. For me, I had to do some side hustle. I had to go to the market, help out people, and I get paid. I sold my provision in school to my classmates and I got money. Then my dad and my mom didn't believe in what I was doing at the time, but I believed in myself and I kept doing that. I did it till when I was 19. That was 4 years after. Then I got my very first funding, and that was from Johnson & Johnson. That was a huge amount of funding. I got $5,000 to work on my ideas, and I got that money but just by making a short film about my love for science. Then I was one of the winners. It was a global. Then afterwards, the next funding I got was just last year. I got $35,000. Afterwards, I think right now I've raised a total of $90,000 in funding to work on my projects. And you're constantly going to need funding. Trust me, every young person out there, if you want to build something, this is the right time. There is a lot of opportunity for young people. You know what? I think this would be amazing. I would share a couple of links here for opportunity for kids. You guys should definitely check them out. They are really amazing and brilliant opportunity, really. And if you need any help, just reach out. Yeah.
Please do send those my way. I'll make sure all our classes have those links. We actually, tomorrow, we launch a contest in partnership with a group that's all about youth innovation. So if you're 14 plus, there's a program that gives $1,000 to classes that come up with cool ideas, and you can win up to $10,000 for programs called Ingenious Plus. So it's a really cool project. You can come up with ideas like Stanley's. And by the way, side hustles are pretty common to this generation, especially Gen Z underneath me. They're used to okay, work the field, do a bunch of different jobs, and build together something and follow your passion. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that, man. 2 more questions before we wrap up. St. Teresa, grade 7 group, welcome in, guys. They wanted to know how long your lamps last on average.
Very technical. The lamps last to charge it using a solar grid system with a small solar panel. It takes approximately 2 hours, but then it lasts for a range of 4 hours to 6 hours, depending on how it's used. So sometimes after using the lamp, you can switch it off and the battery has its final kick, and that depends on the brightness. So you have different brightness setting in the lamp. So that varies how long it lasts, but the maximum is 4 to 6 hours. Yeah, and that's enough for an entire night. Yeah.
Yep. Fantastic. Great question, guys. All right, 5 6s. We can talk all day, and I'll make sure all you have some great resources to keep the learning going. But 5 6s, if you guys want to come on and go for it.
Yeah. How many refugees camps did you help, and were you there when they were helping IPD camp?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I wasn't there when they were helping IDP camps because I was traveling and speaking to people that would give us money to help IDP camps. So, right now, I am not on ground for the projects because I'm not in Nigeria, but I have a very strong team that I believe in, and they handle majority. So my role, I do not do everything. Trust me, you can't do everything. You need a team. You really need a team. Whatever you're doing, you need a team. You need people that believe in you, people that have similar visions, people that want to work for that similar vision. So for me, I focus on the designs, the ideas, the storytelling, the pitching. You have to pitch. You have to tell people about what you do to receive support. And also very key important part, the ideas. I work on the ideas and the designs and how those designs are iterated and built in real life. So then I have someone that builds the electronics. The person is a tech expert. He's good in building robots and so many things. Then we have someone that is good in social media, like different things. Then you have someone that does the financials. That's the boring part. You have to do the paperwork. So yeah.
But quick follow up. I don't know if you caught it at the beginning. Is IDP camp the one refugee camp you've partnered with, or have you been to other refugee
no?
camps?
So work with 2 camps. An IDP camp is referred like the food. It's internally displaced people camps. So the difference between an IDP and a refugee is an IDP person is someone that is internally displaced within their country.
Yeah.
While a refugee is someone displaced from their country into another country. So that's the difference. Yeah.
I'm glad you clarified that. And again, something that really sticks with a lot of our students. So classes, thank you so much for your energy, your enthusiasm, your great questions today. I'm going to make sure to share all the links that Stanley sent me and more. There's a few of them in the chat right now, which are fantastic, and I'll put those for everyone in a minute too. But what we do to wrap up every broadcast, Stanley, as you'll know, I'm going to bring in our classes, John Black and our 5 6s. If you want to join me in saying a big thank you and farewell to Stanley for all his energy and expertise today. Thank you, everybody.